Every single one of these players has broken the internet.
You're only becoming known for your trash talking.
In one way or another. From hilarious speeches.
Hey, I'm just here so I don't get fined, so y'all can sit here and ask me all the questions y'all want to. I'm going to answer with the same answers.
To heated internet beefs, to once-in-a-lifetime tragedies.
My whole world changed, and I'm questioning everything.
But viral fame doesn't last forever. So today, we'll be breaking down who the most viral NFL players are and where they're at today.
Is this live?
And what better player to start with than Richard Sherman, who actually turned his viral fame into an entire career after football.
Kids to catch with their body and not their hand. I'm excited. This is going to be a lot of fun.
As one of the loudest personalities the NFL has ever seen, Sherman received tons of media coverage during his playing days. He was known for his wild interviews and has arguably the craziest in-studio interview ever when he went on First Take in 2013.
I'm talking to you right now. This isn't about any of them.
Do you think you're better than Terrell Owens is right now?
I'm better than you because you're not listening.
I mean, I think every sports fan enjoyed watching him roast Skip Bayless on his own show. And that moment would actually foreshadow Sherman's future career. But before that, there's one interview we can't forget. Of course, we're talking about the 2013 NFC title game.
End zone, Crabtree, broken up, picked off!
And Sherman had the pass breakup against Michael Crabtree that secured the Seahawks win. And what he said after the game will always be remembered.
Well, I'm the best corner in the game. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're going to get.
So, after a decorated 11-year career in the NFL, including 3 first-team All-Pros, 5 Pro Bowls, and a Super Bowl title, he retired in 2022. And retirement is where it gets interesting, because immediately after hanging up his cleats, Sherman became an analyst on Amazon's Thursday Night Football broadcast. Then, in 2023, he replaced Shannon Sharpe on Undisputed, right across from, you guessed it, Skip Bayless.
In fact, I got to tell you, I like Richard a lot.
I'm better than you.
Sherman also owns the Seattle Bar Legion, voices a voice docuseries The League, and continues to appear across NFL networks as an analyst. But moving from one all-time great trash talker to another, let's check in on Chad Johnson, or Chad Ochocinco, because changing his name is one of the many reasons he went viral.
Anybody that writes about whatever I say today, you call me Ochocinco. Do not say Chad.
Ocho had an extremely decorated NFL career and has turned that into an extremely successful post-football career, from breaking franchise records to dating reality TV stars and breaking up with them.
Marriage is the laughing stock. He headbutted me.
She be talking to me crazy.
Ocho's lived a full life. As a player who was fined over $2 million in his 11 NFL seasons, he's always had a lot to say before and after scoring touchdowns. From giving the football CPR to Irish jigs, running cameras, and proposing to cheerleaders, Ochocinco had every celebration you could think of. But some of those antics got him in trouble, like in 2009 when Cincinnati was playing Baltimore. After getting leveled on this play by Ray Lewis, all Ocho had to say was, and he kept doing it, saying himself, by year 6 or 7, I refused to change who I was. And he even sent in fine money before games.
If I get in the end zone, make sure you keep the camera on me.
Knowing what celebrations he would do that weekend, Ochocinco went on to lead the league in receiving yards in 2006, be a 6-time Pro Bowler, and a 3-time first-team All-Pro. He also had the most receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns in Bengals history. Despite not having the same effect after getting traded from Cincinnati to New England in 2011, Ocho had short stints with both the Patriots and Dolphins before going on to play in the Canadian Football League with the Montreal Alouettes in 2014. Then, in 2017, he played 1 game in a professional Mexican football league. But this all was actually part of Ochocinco's ridiculous life of side hustles that started early, because in 2010, he was on WWE Raw.
I'm going to place that decision in the hands of Chad Ochocinco.
Then, in 2011, Ocho hilariously had a 4-day soccer career with Sporting KC of the MLS and went pro in bull riding. In 2014, Chad appeared on Dancing with the Stars, and of course, in 2021, he stepped into the boxing ring to fight Brian Maxwell.
Girls watching, she be disgusted.
You can now catch Ocho Cinco everywhere across football media, from the nightcap with Unc and Ocho to Inside the NFL on the CW. And while Chad always had so much to say, our next player's interviews were always must-watch because, well, he didn't say much at all.
I'm thankful.
Marshawn Lynch has been going viral since his college days. In 2006, after beating Washington, Marshawn casually whipped an injury card around the field, setting the tone for what was to come in the NFL. Because in 2010, during Seattle's NFL wildcard matchup with New Orleans, Lynch had this insane 67-yard run that included 8 broken tackles, leading to one of the greatest TD celebrations ever seen.
Has blockers now. He's dancing his way for the touchdown.
But this next beast mode moment was probably his most lucrative. In 2011, during a matchup with New Orleans, he was caught stealing Skittles on the sideline, hilariously leading to an endorsement deal with the candy brand.
Is this on?
And, of course, 2015 made for arguably the most memorable Super Bowl Media Day moment ever, with Lynch simply saying,
I'm just here so I won't get fined. I'm just here so I won't get fined. Hey, I'm just here so I won't get fined. I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Then, after initiating retirement in 2016,
No, I'm done.
Lynch returned for a quick 3-year stint with Oakland and Seattle before officially calling it quit in 2019. But you can still see beast mode across every industry. He's a co-owner of the Seattle Kraken and the Bay Area Panthers of the Indoor Football League. He has his own beast mode apparel and has appeared in over 20 different movies, including 80 for Brady, Bottoms, Love Hurts, and more. Marshawn continues to be one of the most viral and marketable NFL players ever, making $57 million in the league. However, not every player's viral moments lead to sweet Skittles endorsements. Just ask Mark Sanchez. Thanksgiving 2012 will live in NFL infamy, and only 2 words are needed to remember what happened: Butt Fumble.
You got a busted play here, and then Sanchez gets hit. The ball is loose, and it's alive.
I have never seen this before in my life.
And immediately, that play overshadowed everything Sanchez did in his Jets career, including leading the team to 2 consecutive AFC Championship games. After his 4-year Jets tenure, he bounced around the league, playing games in Philly, Dallas, and Washington, before officially retiring in 2019. But he's arguably had an even better career after football. Sanchez has been an analyst for ESPN and Fox, working in studio and calling live games. Then in 2022, he even started his own tequila brand, Mezcal Campante. But even running into the backside of your teammates isn't as bad as the most famous catfish story ever. Unfortunately for Manti Te'o, his name and catfishing have become synonymous, which is a bummer for a player who was one of the greatest defensive players in college football history. What happened? Well, in 2009, he met his girlfriend, Lene Kekua.
Hey, babe, I'm just calling to say goodnight. I love you.
Who was actually Renai Tuesasopo. And after Teo's girlfriend experienced a life-threatening car crash and leukemia diagnosis, she was reported to have passed within 5 days of Teo's grandmother, also passing away. So, this story took over college football.
I cried, I yelled. I never felt that way before.
Te'o was playing at a Heisman level while mourning 2 deaths.
My grandma and my family and my girlfriend, so that's what it's all about, family.
But then in December 2012, Manti discovered the truth about his supposed girlfriend, and his life was never the same. This tragically destroyed Te'o's mental health for the rest of the season, despite going to the BCS title game. Manti has since bounced back. After being taken 38th overall in the 2013 NFL Draft by the San Diego Chargers,
the San Diego Chargers proudly select Manti Te'o, linebacker, Notre Dame.
He played 7 years in the league with the Chargers, Saints, and a practice squad stint with the Bears. And following 307 total tackles, 2 interceptions, and over $10 million earned in the NFL, he's had a very successful career outside of football. Since 2020, he's been married to personal trainer Jovi Nicole Gambino. In 2022, he embraced his catfish experience with the Netflix documentary Untold, The Girlfriend Who Didn't Exist, and is a host of the NFL Network's Good Morning Football. But while Te'o went viral for loving someone who didn't exist, our next player often went viral because of how much he loves himself.
Because I love me some me. I love me some me.
And we can all actually learn something from Terrell Owens, because it's important to show yourself some love every once in a while. Which is why this episode of Blitz is brought to you by BetterHelp. And during football season, it's easy to lose track of what matters most: yourself. With the playoffs right around the corner, this time of year can be a very stressful time for football fans. Whether your team is a real contender or you're already hoping they lose out for a high draft pick, there's really no better way to treat yourself than therapy. Therapy can have so many positive impacts in your life, like improved mental health, better self-awareness, and coping strategies for life's many challenges, like your team losing a must-win game. It's also great for strengthening relationships, because we all have that friend who just won't stop talking about it being their team's year to win it all. So if therapy sounds like something that could be good for you, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you're able to switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. So let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Blitz today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Blitz. Terrell Owens was not only an all-time great wideout, he was also an all-time great showboater. The Hall of Famer was a 5-time first-team All-Pro and led the league in receiving touchdowns 3 times. But his loud, cocky nature often overshadowed how good he was. Like in 2002, after this 45-yard touchdown, he ran right to the cheerleaders celebrating with their pom-poms. But his most memorable moment has to be 2 years prior. After scoring 2 touchdowns against Dallas, he stood on the star at half field and got lit up by George Teague. Regardless of how loud he played, Te'o was always pleasing the crowd, and you always had to get your popcorn ready when he was on the field. He lost over $100,000 to fines over his career, and in 2015, he unofficially retired from the NFL after 15 seasons.
I haven't officially retired, Rich, but but I'm ready to go right now.
However, he's played other football since. Between 2017 and 2020, Te'o played competitive flag football, was a member of the Edmonton Eskimos of the Canadian Football League, and played for the Fan-Controlled Football League.
Terrell
Owens also owns a bowling team, the Dallas Strikers, and has his own clothing line, Prototype 81. And while Te'o was really the original diva wide receiver, some of Antonio Brown's antics throughout his career make Owens seem normal. What happened to the NFL superstar who was once a 7-time Pro Bowler and member of the great Pittsburgh Killer Bees? How could a person who was once vacationing with Floyd Mayweather, driving customized Steelers-inspired Rolls-Royces, and humorously selling fake watches fall to where he is today? Well, after the 2018 domino effect that included paying over $200,000 per year in child support and losing nearly $600,000 in fines for excessive celebrations, missing practices, and detrimental conduct to the team, AB is still managing to steal the spotlight. After appearing in TV shows like Ballers, having a brief music career, including the song Whole Lotta Money, becoming president of Kanye West's Donda Sports, giving speeches at presidential rallies,
let's vote for Trump, baby. Make some noise for the president.
And creating his own media company called CTESPN, it's safe to say he's staying pretty busy. And even though AB could be a nuisance off the field, when he was between the lines, he always delivered. The same can't be said for Eli Apple, who's made a career out of talking trash, then getting burned. Apple is one of the most hated corners in the league, but he really brought it on himself, because after countless interviews dissing other teams and players, football fans took it upon themselves to make YouTube edits showing Apple getting cooked in coverage. In 2016, Apple was drafted 10th overall by the Giants.
Eli Apple, defensive back, Ohio State.
And he played in New York and New Orleans over 4 seasons. Apple said he hated their fan bases and was called a locker room cancer by Giant safety Landon Collins.
That first pick, I don't think he's a cancer.
He's a cancer. Wow.
This made it much easier for fans to jump on the Eli Apple hate train. However, 2022 was when the most Eli Apple slander showed up. After Cincinnati beat the Chiefs in the AFC title game to secure their first Super Bowl appearance in over 30 years,
And Cincinnati is heading to the Super Bowl.
Apple had tons to say, dropping this tweet that very night.
D-Bud, have you ever seen someone take it on the shins like Eli Apple did on the internet yesterday?
And his Twitter trash talk would continue into 2023, going back and forth with Shaq Lawson and deleting tweets telling Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs to go to couples therapy. He's been much quieter since his days in Cincinnati, mainly because he doesn't get in the game much these days. But Apple did have a brief stint with Miami, and as of 2024, is a member of the LA Chargers practice squad. Despite being one of the most hated players in football, Apple has still reeled in over $24 million over his career. And while he hopes to stay on a roster, our next player is back in a starting quarterback role, and the football world can rejoice for that reason. Because since Jameis Winston was taken first overall by Tampa Bay in the 2015 NFL Draft,
Jameis Winston, quarterback, Florida State.
He's been one of the most memed players of all time.
One thing my trainer, he told me, he said, what did he say? He just told us to be prepared.
He was the first rookie QB in Bucs history to make the Pro Bowl, setting franchise rookie records across the board: pass attempts, pass completions, passing yards, and passing touchdowns. He was even the NFL's passing yards leader in 2019 with 5,109 yards. Since then, no matter where he's been, Winston's pregame speeches, interviews, and behind-the-scenes moments have honestly made him one of the most lovable players in the league. Of course, there's his Eat a W speech.
That's a W. Let's eat one. How many people want to eat a W tonight? I'm going to eat a W tonight.
And even after signing with New Orleans in 2020, he never left his personality behind, becoming Drew Brees' backup and winning the starting job in 2021, leaving us with this gem of a post-game interview.
Where was the pain, Jameis?
Yeah, just pain. It was pain everywhere.
But after being riddled with injuries during his 4-year stint in New Orleans, Winston signed with Cleveland in 2024.
This is the day that the Lord has made. I will be glad and rejoice in it.
And following 334 passing yards and 3 passing TDs to end a 5-game Cleveland losing streak,
what a grab! Oh, my!
He gave a post-game interview in only a way Jameis Winston could, by quoting Eminem.
There's a white boy from Detroit that I really admire named Eminem. He said, you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow.
Unbelievable performance today. Congratulations, Jameis.
Much like Winston, our next player also had an unforgettable run with Tampa Bay.
Fitzpatrick to the end zone. Touchdown, his 4th of the game.
But for a completely different reason. Ryan Fitzpatrick, better known as Fitzmagic, has one of the craziest NFL careers ever, and everyone loved him because of his humorous personality and crazy outfits.
Ooh. What did I do to deserve this?
The 17-year QB started for an NFL record 9 teams, and despite never putting up Pro Bowl numbers, he had insane moments. For someone who bounced around the league, Fitzpatrick became the highest-earning 7th-round pick ever, bringing in over $82 million in his career. He was drafted in 2005 by the Rams, and wildly enough, holds the record for most consecutive games of 400-plus passing yards, with 3 in 2018. He's also tied with Dan Marino and Peyton Manning for the most 400-plus passing yard games in a season, with 4. And every stop he made in his career included unforgettable, memeable moments. From this hilarious post-game interview with the Jets
Is this live?
to playing the ukulele with Tua Tagovailoa in Miami.
Love to see you playing out there so happily. Wonderful.
But he's been in the spotlight even more since retiring from the NFL. After hanging it up in 2022, Fitz immediately became an analyst for Thursday Night Football. And of course, in the most Fitzmagic way, he wasn't able to find the right camera.
In 2 years' time with
This camera.
Okay, thanks, Chris.
He's since become endorsed by DraftKings and Jameson, continuing to build his media portfolio. But no other player on this list has a celebration named after them that took over the entire entertainment industry. Yes, Tim Tebow had a short-lived career, but he was as famous as any player has ever been at his peak. The former 2-time BCS national champion with the Florida Gators would go on to be drafted 25th overall by the Denver Broncos in the 2010 draft. After playing 9 games in 2010 and 14 in 2011, including this iconic 80-yard TD to beat the Steelers during the 2011 AFC wildcard game,
To the 20. Denver's going on the new.
his memorable one-knee celebration became a viral sensation. This move got tons of media exposure, including Tosh.0,
Get up.
South Park,
Hey, here's a good place. I'll do it right here. You sure this is a good idea? It'll just take a second. How could I get hurt?
and more. While Tebow's NFL career fizzled out after Denver, jumping from the Jets to the Eagles and the Jaguars, he officially left NFL football in 2021. But in between each team, Tebow was doing everything. He was an ESPN football analyst, a pro baseball player with the New York Mets farm system, and appeared in his first movie, Run the Race. Since Tebow's viral fame, he's hosted 2 separate TV shows, has been an advocate for social change, and continues to be a college football analyst for ESPN and the SEC network. However, some athletes have turned their hobbies into reasons for fans to love them. That's exactly what Jamaal Williams did. Despite getting drafted by the Green Bay Packers in the 2017 draft, Jamaal Williams first really got his viral fame in 2021 after he signed with the Detroit Lions, because it was his nerdiness that made him a fan favorite. Williams had this memorable Sunday Night Football Naruto intro against the Packers.
First swag Kazakage, leader of the hidden village of the dead.
And has openly confessed his love for Pokemon.
You holding me right now. I just want to go home and play Pokemon.
Even stopping by the Pokemon North America International Championships. But it wasn't just his nerdiness that made him a Detroit favorite. In 2022, Williams also ran for over 1,000 yards, to go with a Lions record 17 rushing touchdowns. And after putting up career highs across the board, he signed a 3-year, $12 million deal with New Orleans. Then a 2023 hamstring injury hindered his progress, and he hasn't been able to replicate his 2022 career since. But when you ask who had the greatest highlight tape of all time, there's only one answer: Tavon Austin. This 2013 highlight reel is the most famous ever, racking up 24 million YouTube views. In 2012, Austin capped off his 4 years at West Virginia with the greatest senior highlights known to man. So, after 1,200 receiving yards, 600 rushing yards, 35 total TDs, he was taken as the 8th overall pick in the 2013 draft by the Rams. He's even left other players starstruck.
Did that Tavon Austin? I swear that's him. Oh, I'm going to get his jersey from him.
But after a decade in the NFL with 6 different teams and some big-time plays, like this 64-yard TD in Dallas,
at the 25-yard line and taking it all the way into the end zone is Tavon Austin.
it was time to hang it up. His very last NFL house call was this 2021 catch against Atlanta. After officially retiring in 2024, he set up home in Dallas, appearing on Johnny Manziel's Glory Days podcast and Good Morning Football.
Congratulations on your retirement from the league.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thank you.
And after bagging over $40 million over a decade of NFL football, he should be pretty well off. However, this next moment will have you pulling out your umbrella. Because in 2013, you could have put buckets under NoeShaw Marino's eyes. During the national anthem, this waterfall of tears was just a sheer display of NoeShaw's emotions, shattering the internet.
Just the emotion, you know.
And ironically, this year was the best of his career, rushing for over 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. But after helping the Broncos reach Super Bowl 48, Marino would have a short-lived career. In 2014, he signed a one-year, $6 million deal with Miami, and during Week 6 against the Green Bay Packers, Marino tore his ACL, ending his season and career. Then, in 2016, after an informal retirement, he dabbled in tons of other post-retirement hustles. He re-enrolled at Georgia, graduated in 2017, started in real estate in 2021 with his own company, the NoeShaw Team, and has since become a Denver radio host for 104.3 The Fan. Not a bad recovery for someone who went viral for his tears. If you enjoyed this video, stick with Blitz, subscribe, and check out some of our other content right here.